New ski gear. I just don't know if there's like anything better than it, dude. There's just something about like your local ski shop going and looking at all the new skis or the new boots and outerwear. The only problem is that usually if you want to buy all that stuff, you got to have like an inheritance from Scrooge McDuck or something. So what I want to do today is go over the gear that I plan to use for the upcoming season, and I want to show that you could be skiing on 2, 5, 10, or more than 10-year-old gear and have like a super awesome season, progress in your skills, and not have to take out a loan or sell plasma to be able to buy this stuff. If you're new to this channel, just kind of want to set the context that we are skiing every run at every resort in Utah. It's been super dope, so I encourage you to go check out those videos. And let's take a look at some of the gear that we plan to use for this season. All right, man, let's start with the money makers, the skis. These are 9 years old. There's dust everywhere. These are the K2 Marksman model from 2016, 2017. These freaking shred, man. These are one of, I'd say these are my favorite skis I've used so far. So they have a couple 100 days on them, I would say. And they're just still holding tough. They're super bomb proof and super solid. I have the 184 length. So this is how it kind of measures up. Do like the elementary school, like height measuring exercise. I have enjoyed the length. At times they felt like a little bit long when I'm in kind of tighter spaces or in the trees or something like that. But for the most part, I've really, really enjoyed them. They have some flex. I wouldn't say they're particularly stiff. So they had a nice mix of playfulness and then stability when you're kind of cruising back down to the lift or on the groomers or in kind of cruddy days. This has been my one ski quiver, so I haven't had like a powder ski and a groomer ski. I've only skied these for several hundred days over that 9 season period. They are 106 underfoot. So they have a 132, 106, 126 profile. And another thing that's unique about this ski is that there is a designed right and left ski. So the inside edge of each of the skis is slightly longer. To answer your question, yes, I have skied with them on the wrong feet. Doesn't really make that big of a deal, but it feels a little bit weird, especially if you're used to skiing the right ski on the right foot, the left ski on the left foot, things like that. So yeah, I don't know. I freaking love these skis. I will say, yes, this is probably like a top of the line ski in its day. So this is maybe a good example of like a one-time splurge, but then you should be able to use that for a very, very long time. And with skis anymore, I feel like the technology has gotten so good that the year-over-year increases, yes, they're there, but it's kind of like more into the iPhone advances anymore versus like the old school days where you're getting huge increases on features, kind of a thing. If I had a complaint, I might say the length can get to me, like I said, in some of those tight spaces. They're really heavy. They're really heavy skis. I am not like somebody who's spinning all the time or hardly ever. But to be fair, I think at least part of that is because they're really heavy. And so there's just kind of like this weird swing weight. And so I wish that they were lighter. That's my excuse on why I don't spin very much. Let's jump to the bindings. This is another example, I will say, of going on the high end or top of the line one time, and then you should be able to use them for a very long time after that. These are the Rossignol pivots. My history is wrong, let me know. It's cool. We got it. We're just hanging out in my garage, okay? Chill. These ones are amazing, a lot better for your knees in terms of releasing. A lot of bindings, your foot comes like vertically out, and there's a little bit of give for different directions. But with a pivot, it actually can slide with your foot, a little bit more natural path of your foot if you're falling and you need to release. So it will slide out and your boot can come out a little bit more safely. So have had relatives blow their ACL, MCL, and so I would definitely recommend pivot bindings, if at all possible, at least once. And another huge shout out to my local shop, Ski and See. I broke these last season and just like a small piece of plastic broke on them. And so I went to my local shop and they managed to fix them, which is huge. So find yourself a good shop with good people in it. Really briefly, let's just spend a second on some of my older skis. I haven't kept all of my skis growing up through high school and such, but these are some of the highlights. This is the Eric Pollard, this is the Eric Pollard Pro model. And these were like the jam in like 2008, 2007, something like that. It's when the Hellbents were out. Idea, the movie, it's amazing. But I don't even have the measurements on these, unfortunately. Maybe I'll put them on the screen if I can find them. But these are noodles, bro. Check this out. Like it's like a bow and arrow almost. Like I could probably just do it on my freaking head. Really not good for your neck. They were super powder oriented, but I was a high school kid. So I just used them every day. And they were, oh my gosh. If you ever, I don't know, find yourself able to demo a huge floppy pair of skis, you should. Just experience it, live a little, okay? These were freaking amazing. They shaped my life, and I skied them a couple hundred times and then my bindings broke. And so they're there. I might put bindings back on them when bindings are free. Okay, jumping to these other skis. These are ones I bought when the Eric Pollard Pro model bindings broke and I needed something, so I bought these from a friend of a friend. So these were really cool, a little bit more stiff, especially coming from the EP Pro than I was used to. But these were a good all-around ski. I would say the only problem with these is when I was skiing them a number of years ago, very lightweight person, but the din is like 8 to 15. And I was just on the edge of releasing and blowing my knee out. So I didn't ski on these for super long, but they were a good in-between fill. I did buy ski blades in like elementary school, okay? I didn't know it was a meme, but just let young me have fun, okay? When children want to live a dream, you kind of just let them, and I still have them. So they might make an appearance in the series, maybe when we're skiing like nothing but green runs in a day, and we want to challenge ourselves. Okay, that's the skis for the year. Yeah, the K2 Marksman from 9 years ago, and the Rossignol FKS. Oh, these are the FKSs. I misspoke earlier. But also 9 years old, so I don't know, I'm maybe tempting fate a little bit with these. So I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, these will be sick for the year. Have had no complaints. If you got skis and you like them, just keep shredding. Let's move on. Okay, let's jump on to boots. It's something I don't know a ton about, but I would highly recommend if you ever do buy boots, whether they're like used or on clearance or something or brand new, just go to like a boot fitter or go to a shop where they have people who know what they're doing. It makes a huge difference. For these boots that I also got 9 years ago, these are the Rossignol All Track 100, so the 100 Flex. These have been good boots. I would say the things that I didn't know when I bought them was about like feet profile. Like you can have like a thinner foot or a wider foot. I didn't really know that when I bought boots. And so I would like, whenever it is, when I do buy a new pair of boots, to definitely consider that. The flex rating, as I understand it, not like definitive science so that you're gonna get 100 flex, which is on the looser, like lighter, well I guess 60 is on the super light scale. But you're not gonna go and say, well, I had a 110 flex or a 70 or 80 flex in this ski boot brand. I want the same thing in another boot brand. That's what I have read, that it's not necessarily consistent, but you can kind of look at it as just like a scale within each brand. So that's one thing that I would also probably consider again is flex. Like I need a boot that's a little bit stiffer and tighter on my foot, and maybe a little bit tighter in the toe box. Because I wouldn't say I like slosh around a lot, but I have a little bit more movement than maybe is ideal. But at the end of the day, man, like the technology again has gotten so much better that you still need to be a little bit particular in the boot, but if you have a boot, you skied it for a while, like you are probably fine to keep skiing it in the grand scheme of things. Again, I've probably skied these a couple hundred days. This is probably the first thing that I would want to replace is my boot. But that's 9 seasons. That's not buying boots every single year. So super dope. This is what I still plan to use this year. Though I would say if Santa's listening, this is the thing that I would probably replace first. My poles are like 20 years old. You don't need to be buying poles all the time unless maybe you like matching it with your gear or something like that. But I mean, if it's broken, replace them. If you cut them super short so that you could use them in the park and then now you're older, cool, replace them. But for the most part, you're gonna be fine. Just keep your poles for a long time. All right, let's move on to base layer, underwears. Okay, let's look at the stuff that you wear under your outerwear. A lot of wears. This is the probably one section of the video where if anybody diehard is watching, you should probably skip ahead. Plug your ears. You're not gonna like what I have to show you today. And that's because a lot of new gear emphasizes moisture wicking, synthetic material so that it's not consuming or soaking up the sweat and the moisture that your body is generating or is in the air or anything like that, and it can keep you dry and keep you warm. That makes total sense. A lot of that stuff is not free. I have some things that I'm starting to get that are like Costco specials, but for the most part, I do not abide by the best practices of the industry in this area, and I still live. I'm still generally warm, and I still have a good time. So with that being said, let's look at my socks. These are most certainly probably cotton. Smart wool is my recommendation, but have my toes gotten cold? Yes. Have they gotten wet? Not necessarily. I don't remember when I've like sweat in my boots and then my toes have gotten freezing. They haven't been the end of the world for me, but I still have a fun time. And I have all 10 toes. So, okay. All right. Underneath my bottom outerwear is more, let's see if these are cotton. Oh, a cotton poly blend, 60% cotton, 40% polyester. Still not great, man. I just wear some pajamas, man. They're kind of cozy and warm. They do get wet. And so I guess similar to the socks recommendation, I can't find it. Merino wool, synthetic layers. I wear overall bibs, so I'm at maybe a lower risk of getting my under layers wet. Again, probably choose synthetics for moisture wicking and still warmth there, but like I ski in some pajamas. These are Portland Trailblazer pajamas I got for Christmas a number of years ago. And I have both legs. They haven't frozen off. So last part of the base layers, let's take a look. 65% polyester, 35% cotton. So I kind of just wear like a Henley shirt. Is that what these are called? The like waffle material? This is one where I'd say, you probably would be wise to, again, get a base layer that's synthetic or merino wool. Again, this is just a case of, look, if you can't shell out $100 for a base layer or however much it is, still try and do whatever best preparation you can and still just try to stay dry and have fun anyway. So my upper body still exists. I'm still alive. My arms are in working functions, and I don't wear super fancy base layers. Go figure. Okay, let's jump to outerwear. This is the department that I'm probably a little bit better at. I wear these bibs. They're super dope. I really enjoy the fact that like I don't have to worry about them like falling down or anything like that. The pocket situation is okay. Waterproofing or water resistance is acceptable. I enjoy them. If I had one word of advice on outerwear like pants, I prefer bibs. I think they're nice. They have some conveniences there, but you definitely need to make sure to get one with a fly. Every time I have to go to the bathroom, it's like a full freaking production. It's like I'm trying to walk up to a urinal and people are like, whoa, what are you doing, man? Because I have to unzip my coat. I have to unzip like the top of my like bib, just like this. Zoop, and like people are just, whoa, what's this guy doing? So just get a fly in your bibs. Okay, for coats, it kind of depends on the day, but I used to actually be really like dead set on insulated jackets where it's like, it's a shell and insulation in one. But anymore, I actually prefer getting a shell and the insulation separately. So I think the ideal sort of layering is you wear a synthetic base layer, and then you have whatever layer of insulation matches the heat that you're going for, if it's super, super cold or if it's a little bit warmer spring day, and then a shell for like the waterproofing. That's probably the recommended formula. And so that my outerwear, I typically wear like a puffy jacket. Sometimes you can get 3-in-1 jackets where you have the insulation, the shell, you can wear them separately or together. If you can find a deal on those, which is what I've done, I'll kind of buy those in like March or April. Way more efficient than buying them, you know, in the fall, something like that. So I got this kind of puffy insulation layer in one of those jackets. And then I wasn't super happy with the shell that came with that puffy layer. And so I ended up a couple years later buying this Armada 3-layer shell. This thing is freaking awesome. I always knew Armada for skis growing up, but this jacket has been super solid, super bomb proof. So I would say you obviously need a good coat if you're gonna be out there and be warm. This one has been amazing. I plan to continue using it. And I honestly don't know when I will replace it. Like, this is one of those jackets that you could probably use for like 7, 8, 10 years or longer. So I plan to do so. You can get new outerwear every year. I'm not gonna hate on that, but you know, wherever you're working, let me know if they're hiring, because that's a lot of money. Okay, so other outerwear, this is probably another example of where I bought probably higher end stuff once and I've used them for quite a while after. These are Swanee. I think there's a number of gloves anymore that are really solid. Like maybe like 8 to 10 years ago, I feel like there was just a lot of mediocre gloves out there and Swanee was just like super solid. So that's kind of around the time I think when I bought them. But I think the gloves have gotten a lot better in the last maybe decade. So there's some good glove options out there. Keep your fingers warm. It just sucks when your fingers are cold. Or use hand warmers. That's my advice there. Okay, the other thing is once I started losing hair on my head, I started just getting cold. So I got one of these backstrap baklavas that I wear under my helmet, and it's just nice and warm. Keeps you warm, keeps your face warm. I used to wear the not tight fitting baklavas. It was sort of like a wool, like loose fitting one. And then I just skied Alta on a super cold windy day. I went into the lodge and the tip of my nose was like white. And I was like, maybe I need to change things up. So yeah, I got some of this stuff. Okay, for helmet and goggles, a Smith Vantage helmet with the MIPS. I don't know all there is to know about MIPS, but apparently, at least their marketing tells me it's a lot safer. So anyways, it's been a good helmet. It's been nice and adjustable, but I think helmets are pretty good anymore as long as you get a ski helmet. Wear a helmet. Come on, man. It's not that cool. It's not even cool to like not wear a helmet. Maybe some of the beanies that people wear are interesting, but it's not cool to get a brain injury. I don't know what else to say. Okay, so for goggles, I have these IO Mag XL goggles, Chroma Pop EV S2 lens. I let the camera do that focus. These are a splurge. Sorta, actually, now I think about it. I also got these in like the summer, in like a clearance. So if you are hard pressed for gear, but you can wait a little bit, dude, the deals like in the summertime, like the selection isn't as broad, but I got these like, again, way on clearance. And it was not anywhere remotely close to the retail price. And these have the interchangeable lenses, which is huge. If you're going skiing all that much, like the interchangeable lenses is really nice. This is maybe not the like most elegant way to hold these up. The other lens I have is the Chroma Pop ST. So this is my low light, and this is the sunny day lens. Okay, so for night skiing, which I don't do a whole lot of, I just got, I think like it was like a work event. They were gonna go night skiing, which I hadn't gone in a long time. And so I bought these off of Amazon. Are they top of line? No. But like if you're just going once, twice, 3 times a lady, whatever, these worked great. I usually wasn't super particular about backpacks until I started filming the Every Run, Every Resort challenge. And then I started to notice backpacks a lot more. So this backpack I bought 20 years ago. It still works. It's still a backpack. The only sort of flaw I had, once I started to keep some filming equipment like these microphones and stuff that can get wet in there, I started to notice a little bit of lack of waterproofing. And so that was the only real like motivator for the change for me. But like most of the time when I was just keeping like snacks or lunches or a spare pair of goggles in there, like I'm not like living and dying by the waterproofing of the backpack. So this is a super dope backpack. It's 20 years old and it's a good backpack. Okay, this is the backpack that I did buy as a replacement to just make sure I could have a little bit more waterproofing. It's North Face Borealis backpack. I think it's one of their more popular ones. I like this backpack. It's not like a great filming backpack. Some of the pockets are great. If I have like a little bit bigger camera or something, it just gets lost down here in the bottom. And that's actually how I broke the audio port on my camera, because I had something plugged into it. I was trying to put it in this backpack and it just, smushed it and broke that part of the camera. So I have a little bit of beef with this backpack. It hasn't said sorry or anything like that just yet, but this is a good backpack. Would recommend it if you are using it for most normal use stuff. Good with water. The zippers are satisfying to go up and down, really smooth. You can fit a lot of stuff in here. Yeah, good backpack, but it does owe me an apology for breaking the audio port. So yeah, that's a lot of the skiing specific gear that I plan to use for this season. Obviously with a lot of it being older, I can't necessarily say go buy those products or anything like that, but I suppose if you take anything away, just focus on having fun, like be safe and do the preparation that you can with the gear that you have and can afford. And if you ultimately need to buy some gear, do your best to buy things that have good value in them and then they can last you like a really long time. Okay, so with that, if you're interested, this is some of the stuff that I use to film the videos, which are kind of a mix of like direct point of view shots and then kind of, I guess, I hate to say it, like vloggy style. It makes me barf to say that. So the two cameras that I use to film all the videos up until this point are the Fujifilm X-T3, which I'm filming this on right now in the garage, and the GoPro Black 7. So the Fujifilm camera is one I just bought from my old work for like a discounted rate. If you wanted to film stuff like this, you absolutely do not need that. That's sort of just like cream on the top that I wanted to try out up there on the mountain. It is a huge hassle to like carry that thing around. I don't have multiple lenses or anything like that, but it's not like an action camera. It's definitely like a normal size camera and it is just really big. Like I said, I already broke something on it trying to fit it into my backpack and stuff. I think it creates a great picture and it is a little bit more variety from the action cam. And so basically what I would do is I would just set that camera on the top of this, this is a tripod, sort of selfie stick kind of a thing. But I put it on top of this and then I would kind of hold it out a little bit like that. And I used to have a mic on it, but like I said, it broke. So I have another mic, which we'll talk about in a second. And so yeah, the other camera that I use is the GoPro Black 7. This is an old GoPro, dude. So yeah, I don't necessarily think that you have to go out there and get like the latest top of the line action camera to definitely start or to learn how to do filming of the things that you want to look back on or share with other people. As long as you're doing it and having fun and it like fulfills that purpose for you of capturing it in a pleasing, acceptable way, then yeah, you don't need to do that. This was one that I had also won from like a work contest and I didn't feel like I needed to go drop a bunch of money to get started with making videos. But I will say that the audio on that GoPro is not very good and the onboard audio, even on the Fujifilm, was not very good. So one of the things I did invest in was, I think this is the DJI Mic 1. I don't even think this is the DJI Mic 2. Yeah, no, this is the DJI Mic 1. Say that 5 times fast. That was really hard. This is an amazing product. These like wireless microphones are incredible. They have onboard recording. You can, plug it in wirelessly to your camera if you wanted to do that. I think the audio was pretty good and I think like it handled the wind pretty well. You probably can't hear me because we're going a little fast. Why don't we just send it? So the only change that I am doing for filming this year is, ironically, while I was just talking about how you don't need to go buy a super nice action cam. I did splurge. I saved up for this for years, honestly. Like every birthday money I got for years, or every Christmas or something like that. The Insta 360 X5. The primary reason why I did get the X5 is for the audio. It at least makes a claim that it handles wind audio better. Otherwise, I absolutely would have just gotten the prior year model and saved myself some money. Costco is amazing, man. So that's where I picked this up. And I'm excited to use this for point of view footage this year, because I think that it should be a little bit more like immersive of a view. You'll get a little bit more realistic, immersive experience than like a 7-8-year-old GoPro action cam, which did great, but I definitely wanted to try and at least level up for filming this year. Okay, for passes this season, I'm pretty excited about. Last year, I got the idea to start the Every Run, Every Resort challenge, and all that I had in my possession was a Sundance pass, and it was too late to buy any of the mega passes. So that's why we started with Sundance, and then the Sundance pass gave us a few days at Nordic Valley and Brian Head, which we touched on those, and then we got a comp pass to Snow Basin from a friend of mine, which is a great start, but I do want to expand that this year. I do plan to still get a Sundance pass just for like family stuff. It's a good all-around resort, and we're not done with it yet, and not done with Brian Head or Nordic Valley, so we'll kind of cover those 3 resorts with the Sundance pass. And I did buy an Icon pass, which should get us to Solitude, Brighton, and Snowbird. I didn't jump at the expanded Icon pass that also got you Deer Valley and Alta just yet, because it's still a lot of skiing, with a lot of editing of videos. And so I figured we'd start with Sundance and the Icon pass and see how things go from there. Okay, so yeah, dude, thank you for chilling with me in my garage. We're just like hanging out, checking out gear. Pretty much everything that I showed you was bought in like a season ending sale or on clearance at some point. I think there was maybe like 1 or 2 splurges where it was bought in like that season kind of a thing. But for the most part, what you can do is find like these deals at the end of season or in the summer when selection is a little lighter or gently used stuff. It is possible to get really good gear without having to like get a loan or go into tons of like credit card debt to buy gear to have a good time. So that's the meta point of the gear review today. I will just say, if you're watching at this point in the video, like we just spent a good amount of time and I super appreciate it. This is kind of a little bit of a leap of faith. This takes a lot of effort. I'm just in my garage with like lights and the camera and stuff up there. So it does take time, and I appreciate just enjoying the stoke and just building a little community around the challenge of skiing every run at every resort. I think it's an amazing challenge. I'm looking forward to it this year. I have a couple other videos that are left over from last year that I will release in the early parts of this season. I have a couple of them edited already. I'm finishing them up. The only disclaimer to the challenge that I will say is, in my Red Bull Soapbox Derby video, I mentioned that, dude, I have like bone bruising in my tibia and fibia that I got on the 4th of July. This is November, and it is still just like raging a storm in my like knee joint, and it's crazy frustrating. And I don't know like when it will heal or when it will get to a point where it's like still chill to go out there. But just know I've been like crazy diligent in trying to take it easy, still do the training that is acceptable to do with bone bruising, if any. And I'll kind of keep you all up to date on how that shapes up. Might be a little bit later start to the year, but we'll see. It's sure to be a dope year no matter what. I hope to come back healthy. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, would love if you chose to do that. Obviously no obligation. We are trying to get to the monetization tier in YouTube, which requires a certain tier of subscribers and watch time, just so I can start subsidizing the cost of the challenge, which would be cool. And we could hopefully make more videos. In the end, I hope you're healthy. I hope you're happy. I hope you enjoy the remainder of your evening or the rest of your day. You just have the biggest smile on your face. Look at you. You're smiling right now. Wow. Thanks, and we'll see you in the next one.